Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're doing something a little bit different. This is the intermediate tournament. I figured we'd watch both the best players in the game and then also see how this new meta has shaped up for some of those players who are a little newer to the game. We have my good friend Call of War participating in the tournament. He's been in quite a few of the 2v2 videos that we've watched before. Versus Duncan. Duncan has gone with heavy armor. Looks like Call of War has opted for the speed spec with two of the fastest units in the game. Alright, he's going to be able to close this distance really quickly. It is basically a mirror match. Now, crawlers are favored in the early game. Oh, wow. And Duncan sets up for a headbutt. Let's see if Call of War can handle it. Actually, having an extra unit of steel balls here will be extremely important. Unfortunately, I think this is going to go the way of Duncan. We will see, though. The setup of these steel balls is really important. Call of War steel balls should be shooting steel balls, whereas most of the enemy steel balls will be hitting on units that don't really matter in the form of crawlers. It looks pretty good here for Call of War. The steel ball wars are going his way in a big way, and unfortunately, Fang just don't have the DPS to deal with steel balls. The question is, will there be enough? It looks like that answer is going to be a definite yes, as the steel balls for Call of War march down the right-hand side of the field, just absolutely crushing through and making it in. Now, these Fang will become much more dangerous over time, and they're getting a lot of XP. Just because steel balls give off a lot of XP, Fang unfortunately do not. This means that as these Fang continue to upgrade, they will be able to deal more and more damage, especially once they get this armor piercing. That really is a crucial upgrade in Fang on steel ball war. The range is pretty good too, but really you just need your Fang shooting hard enough to actually penetrate and deal damage to the steel balls. Subsidized steel balls for Call of War makes sense. He's already got a few on the field and some Mustangs. Okay, I like this. He picked a card that he doesn't necessarily need right now, or opts to actually play out a few more steel balls, and then he can follow it in with some Mustang, which used to be very common in the meta. It might still be common in these lower tier armies. So let's find out. Actually, having those Mustangs will counter these Fang extremely well. It's going to be a steel ball war in the center. And a missile here for Call of War. It won't kill these steel balls, but it should weaken them. Oh, it's not a missile for Call of War. It's a missile for Duncan. Oh, no. And that missile did a huge amount of damage. Well played by Duncan. Very much well played. This means that the steel ball wars, at least on the... well, actually, it looks like the steel ball wars are still going to go the way of Call of War just because he had more steel balls. That's the great thing about having a lot of steel balls. You tend to win the steel ball war. This steel ball on the right might cut through all of the steel balls on the left, though, for Duncan. These guys are focus firing on the wrong units. Those Mustangs will really make a difference if that comes out. I actually kind of like Duncan just sticking to 2 units. It will harm him in the long time, but it does mean that his upgrades are very much worth it. And that was just a fantastic missile there for Duncan. Really well played. Orbital Bombardment, Incendiary Bomb. Interesting. The Incendiary Bomb will do a ton of damage. I tend to like the Incendiary Bomb a little bit more than the Orbital Bombardment because it's guaranteed to hit. So all 3 of these Fang are basically dead. Oh, and the Crawler upgrade for these Steel Balls is very good on the Steel Ball Wars. There's the first unit of Mustang. Let's see if they end up on the wrong side of the field. These Mustang will be crucial for cleaning up those... Oh, interesting. He plays them all the way on the far right. Okay. These Mustangs will be crucial for cleaning up the steel balls that, the crawlers that spawn out of these steel balls. I do like this crawler as well, but I think the fire is really going to do a lot more work here for Call of War than this orbital bombardment. Yeah, it's already cooking off these steel balls, and in come the Mustang. These Mustang are going to feast on these units of Fang. Absolutely feast on them. And look at them go, already killing them off. But that's the power of these steel balls with the crawler upgrade. They're able to win that very easily because steel balls tend to shoot at the unit that's closest to them unless they have the upgrade that tells them to shoot at the unit with the highest HP. In this case, that is not going to happen. Let's see if these Mustang run through the fire. It doesn't look like it. It does not look like that's going to happen. Unfortunately, these level 2 steel balls dying do give out a ton of XP. Oh, these little Fang and these steel balls are going to cross the plateau of fire, though. That is definitely not going to go their way. Oh, wow. It goes out right on time, but it's still not going to be enough. And the Mustangs are there to support these steel balls. It should be a pretty quick cleanup. Man, those guys, how many kills did they get? 77 in one round. Now, the thing about playing this style of game is that it gives your opponents a long time to react. Intelligent marksman, barrier. Oh, intelligent marksman for Call of War here. Interesting. Normally, I like to grab the quote-unquote intelligent cards when I already have a few units on the field that can make use of them. In this case, there aren't really any units that can make use of it. Call of War opts to upgrade a lot of his units as opposed to playing out more. He does have another unit of Mustang here. Very important for cleaning up the rest of those units, and a sniper. Here's the first sniper for Call of War, the marksman. Oh, it looks like Duncan knows his business, though. Grabs a few more Fang with the important attack upgrade. Call of War grabs a couple snipers here. This should help him kind of clean up these steel balls a little early. And because these steel balls are entering in very quickly, the marksmen are very likely to get on point and just start plinking away at damage at them. And a good missile here for Call of War could make a difference. It will just clean up a unit of steel balls. Maybe not the most useful in this case. Steel balls will start targeting down some Mustang there, but the snipers are already online. This guy's unsupported, though. Those steel balls ran right down the center, and they're going to get on the tower just like that. So a crucial mistake here from Call of War's positioning is most likely going to cost him this round, even though the units that he has should clean this up no problem. That is a really bad mistake. Oh no, everything's back online now, but I think that was just game losing. Wow. That was really, really bad positioning by Call of War there. Cost him that. Not that he could have foreseen that. I mean, it's pretty hard to tell which way the units will turn. But yeah, that was really rough. The other great thing about the steel ball spawning crawlers is that it also mucks with these snipers. Really what Call of War or Duncan should be looking for here are some Stormcallers. Steel balls have to stand still for a long time, and Stormcallers deal damage really well against units that stand still. Defense spec for Duncan. Call of War skips. Wow, some very quick choices there. Lots of upgrades going out. A Vulcan here for Call of War. There's one Vulcan. These Vulcans won't do very well against the steel balls, that's for sure. But they will do well against the Fang. Question is, will the Fang ever get close enough to actually become a problem? I'm not sure. Some missiles here, and I do like Call of War choosing just to try and win one flank. This should be enough support here for the sniper. Duncan still only using 2 units. Call of War has unlocked 5. Now, of course, I do think having a good spread of units is important. I wouldn't opt to play with only 2 units, but in this case, it seems to be working out for Duncan. Is this sniper too close to the Vulcan? I think so. Yep, that's unfortunate. And these level 3 steel balls are just going to come right online the Vulcan. They're going to kill it exceedingly quickly. Call of War did not cover it. Oh, but they don't go straight for the tower. That is good. That is very good. And luckily this Vulcan is here to kind of clean up some of the crawlers as they come out, but I mean, it's just too little too late. Really, the Mustang are a much cheaper and better option to deal with that, just because they can switch fire much quicker. And this is going to be another win here for Duncan. Luckily, it's only small little cuts, but if Call of War really wants to beat this in such a head-on engagement, he needs to get some steel balls that are also spawning crawlers. That would make a big difference, because then everybody's steel balls would take a moment to shoot at each other. That would be very good. Top supply specialist for Call of War. I don't know if the game's going to last that long. Acid for Duncan. That acid's going to make a big difference. Oh, and here's the hackers. Unfortunately, Duncan realizes there isn't really much that shoots up and opts for some overlords. Gee Louie. I think Duncan is going to absolutely smash it, as although these hackers have shields, there isn't really much. I guess it could work. Call of War also has the field recovery. Get rid of these Vulcan. They're useless. Instead, go with a lot of hackers. What did he opt to eat there? I think it was these Mustang on the left. And instead gets the multiple control on the hackers. Okay. This could work out because he'll be grabbing a lot of the crawlers that come out. Interesting positioning here as well. Just opting to try and lose this flank anyways. Out go the missiles. It's okay. It's some damage. All right, little hackers, they're going. He might convert some of these steel balls. If he does, that might be enough. There's one or two getting converted. They're getting plinked away, but the conversion is happening, and it's a big win here on the right and a big loss on the left. That acid was devastating. Oh, but these hackers are doing all right. They're gonna lose here for sure, and I think this might be the death of Call of War. Well, no, he's got 1900 HP. It might be enough. It just might be. If these hackers... Yeah, the hackers go down a little bit too quickly. I think that converting just one of the steel balls may have been the better issue, and unfortunately these Mustang would have been the thing to clean everything up, but we only had one group of them left on the field. This acid is going to be here to stay as well. Those Vulcan are basically useless. Might be time to get rid of the Vulcan. This is looking really good here for Duncan. Lightning Storm for both players. Call of War is a little bit more spread out, and he already has shields. These hackers really need an upgrade if they're going to try and convert these very aggressive steel balls. Fire again is open for Call of War. This might be exactly what he needs. More hackers. He has to be careful about putting them in the fire. And the hackers do see an upgrade. Alright, that's better shielding. Man, these steel balls really just need the mechanical division just to be able to fight this off. The hackers could also use range, but it's so expensive at this point. Maybe mass missile would do some work here, but it's unlikely. Unfortunately, that shield will not protect Call of War's units. The sniper is gonna die in the acid. Both snipers could use a bit of an upgrade. Call of War has to burn the oil again. He burned it last turn as well. Oh no, this is not looking good for my good friend Call of War. But we will see. Maybe he makes a clear comeback. Maybe he does, maybe he does. Finally, the Vulcan is eaten. I think that was a much better play. If the Vulcan was throwing out fire or had range, it would make a big difference, but as it is now, it is just dying. Mechanical, or the replication on the crawlers. That's not a bad choice. Alright, out comes the acid. It's going to do a lot. Man, the fire, clearing away these back lines. Ooh, and the hackers are looking pretty good. They're converting. They are getting hit by the storm, but they are converting. It's not a huge amount, but when they actually change them over, it's great. And actually, these hackers are going to get in on the Fang and start converting them up, too. All of a sudden, this Mama ship is shooting at its own units. Oh my god, are there enough hackers? Can Call of War bring it back with mass hacker? It looks pretty good. There is still a mothership on live, and unfortunately, all of these units drive through the fire and die. Where's that sniper? I don't think there's a sniper. Oh, the sniper's in the back line. And he's importantly already shooting down the Mama ship. Wow, this hero sniper. Good job, Call of War, bringing this back. With the acid gone, that Vulcan will be back online. Really good plays here. Oh my god. Can Call of War bring this back? Luckily, he can recycle another Vulcan or give it some more cash. Duncan skips. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the charged ammo here for Call of War. Slapping that on a hacker is really powerful. He does grab the charged ammo. Oh my god, there's 3 level 3 overlords. Call of War's got to be scared about this. He could potentially turn enough of the Fang, but it's very unlikely. He'd have to get the range on these hackers, and that's super expensive. But that extra range would most likely put them right online to start killing. This sniper's going to have a heyday killing a overlord quickly. Maybe some Mustang with range would be good. He does opt for some Mustang. Either the anti-air or range. That would mean that the Mustang served 2 purposes here. There's the orbital bombardment. That could be devastating, especially if it claims these Mustang. Each missile lands for 2,500 damage. That would clear these units of Mustang. Mustang on the left. They do not have any upgrades. I do think an upgrade on the Mustang is very important, or the range on the hackers. Or heck, even just getting the mechanical division on these steel balls. It's cheaper. Or the electromagnetic shot or range on these snipers would be good as well. But it's all to play for. Call of War takes his time. He still has $800 with 15 seconds left to play. He's got to make some choices here. And they got to be good choices. He doesn't have a lot of time. 10 seconds, $800 left. Spend your money. Spend your money, honey. 5 seconds. Opts for another unit. It's going to be a hacker, and I think Call of War ran out of time there. That could be devastating. These hackers are already working on all of the steel balls, literally all of the steel balls. He might just claim all of the steel balls at the front. I'm not sure if it will be enough, though. All of the steel balls are converted. We have the mass... Oh, my God. Call of War was smart. He had some Mustang in the background. Double Mustang in the background to claim both towers. Will it be enough? These snipers are working overtime. There's only this one guy left. He brings down a Overlord. There's still 3. There's another tower done. There's only 2 left. Call of War's tower is about to drop. That is unfortunate. Let's see if the Mustang can carry this through. Oh my God, these hackers have so much work to do. There's a lot of them, though. Mustang are targeting down the Overlord in the back right. This does not look good, though, as there's mass hacker on the field. The mass hackers are all done. This is over. Good try by Call of War. Really good try. I think if he had spent that extra 800, he would have been able to succeed there. GG. Let's take a look at the next round. If you have been enjoying the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. We have Blub versus Mako. And I like that. Bulb? Question mark. Oh, wow. Mako's got some really interesting hands here. Bulb seems to have rolled a little low on the HP. Cost control specialist coming out for Mako. I think this is a great choice. Of course, this is the most recent patch, so Stormcallers have been seeing a little bit of a difficulty finding their place in the meta again. But I think that this is a good opening hand anyways, and a lot of HP. Let's see what Bulb chooses. Supply specialist. Okay. Good choice. It should be more than enough to handle what is going on the field currently. There's nothing that shoots up here for Mako, so he's basically forcing Mako to either take a unit of Mustang, which wouldn't do too poorly here, or a couple of snipers, leaving Bulb the ability to grab basically anything. Bulb anticipates, I think, chaff. I would be surprised if Mako does get it, but hey, we're in a different tournament bracket than we're used to, so it could very well be, I don't know, Mustang or Fang to try and deal with these 2 units of... Oh my God, it is Fang. Okay. The only things that are going to be able to kill these Phoenix are 2 units of Fang. This could be a setup play for a later point in time, but that is surprising. A very standard deployment here for both players. Most likely the recommended formation. There's nothing wrong with that. It works well. Unfortunately, I think these Fangs are doomed. They're not behind anything. It's unlikely that the Stormcallers one-shot the Arclights. It's possible, but even if the Stormcallers do one-shot the Arclights, these Fang have to survive just a heck of a lot of crawlers. The Fang on the left are a little bit safer than those on the right, but it doesn't look good. All the Fang are dead there on the right. Stormcallers still haven't finished off the Arclights. There it goes. Well, there's like 10 Fang versus 2 units of Phoenix. I don't think this is going to go well. But they're making a good they're acquitting themselves well, these little Fang. They've already shot down a jet. And now that the Phoenix are distracted, they might be able to get the other. Well, it's going to take them a minute. They might not... Well, they should get it. Yeah, they do. Alright, run, little boys, run. There's 2 jets coming for you. 5 Fang versus 2 Phoenix, and the Fang don't even pay attention enough to shoot back. Okay. A little lost by Mako, but honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. Let's see if Bulb can continue to pressure. Deployment specialist for both players. Very good choice. It looks like Mako might be choosing to play a heavy Fang style. It's not a bad choice. What does Bulb do? Honestly, upgrading these Phoenix would not be a bad choice, but I would maybe save upgrading units until turn 3-ish. Just because this other player is a cost control specialist and I saw the deployment spec come out, that would be pretty tough to deal with because almost certainly he's going to be deploying 3 units. Sure, the units are slightly weaker, but there's going to be a lot of them. I do like the tanks here from Bulb. Tanks deal with both the Arclights and the chaff on the field quite well. They'll get handled a little bit by Stormcallers, but not extremely well. And Mako's already offset the cost in HP and... well, but he's gotten both upgrades, making the cost control specialist just really not that big of a deal anymore. Stormcaller shots are pretty good. there's a lot more of these Fang to actually soak up this damage. Let's see if the Phoenix start targeting down. Yeah, the Phoenix kill those arc lights really quickly, but luckily there's Fang here to start absorbing shots for them so that this sniper can start cleaning up everything else. The units on the ground should all go down. I think he's going to win the left and lose the right here for Mako. Good plays by Bulb, though. That one sniper should be more than enough to deal with these two Phoenix just because the sniper has some support. So this will go the way of Mako. Hopefully both players speed this up here in a second. Yes, the tower will be lost, but I don't think that the Phoenix will get over to the sniper in time. Sniper should come online here in the next 2 seconds. There it is. One more shot and down will go the tower. These Phoenix are screwed. Man, imagine flying a plane in slow motion. I'm not really sure how that would work. Surely the planes would just fall out of the sky, but it's the future. Maybe they figured something else out. Shield Specialist for Bulb. Man, I love redeployment. I absolutely love redeployment, but honestly, I like the laser sights a little bit more. Instead, Mako opts to grab the Arclight range. Okay. I mean, the Arclights don't really need to kill with their first shot. And interestingly enough, these Stormcallers also grab splash damage. That's going to work out for them really well because a mass amount of crawlers and another unit of tanks was dropped here by Bulb. Does Bulb grab another unit of crawlers? It would go quite some ways. These snipers would be overwhelmed. Yes, it is going to be another unit of crawlers. Let's see if these 3 arc lights plus the new splash damage Stormcallers are enough for Mako to clean up Bulb's units. I do like just slowly building up these tanks though. Once you get 3 to 5 units of tanks, giving them that mechanical rage is quite powerful. All of a sudden they're able to become your main front line, not just armor wise, but also damage wise. That's a great improvement. This shield will work very well here for Mako, just because there isn't really anything that can kill shields quickly. And off go the first Stormcaller shots. Let's see how they land. Oh yes, completely wipe up the unit of crawlers that were meant to be following alongside these tanks. They won't deal as much damage to the tanks, but man, that splash damage really does count. These units are cleared away exceedingly quickly. This sniper is up a creek though. Does get overwhelmed by the crawlers that we were talking about earlier. But now it's just a bunch of Fang and some snipers to deal with. What, 1 crawler left? Really well played here for Mako. I do like the combined arms approach. Unfortunately for Mako, all of his units are slow. Bulb could counter this with anything that deals with slow units, Stormcallers of his own. Potentially even some Vulcan firing out incendiary bombs would work well. Mako opts for the Wasp Swarm. There isn't really a lot that shoots up besides these 2-3 Phoenix. Or honestly just play the Wasps in your own backline. Wasps take a long time to come off cooldown now. This Wasp Swarm takes a really long time to come off cooldown. We see the Fang grab shields. That will delay all of the Phoenix shots considerably, and there are a lot of Phoenix coming out here for Bulb. Just a ton of Phoenix. Oh my word. I like this engagement wing that he has going on here. This is kind of fun. Is he going to give the Phoenix the ability to... it's just range. Still not bad. Range on the Phoenix is very important. They will mostly be shooting at Fang though, but if they get online, they can probably pick off a sniper or 2 early. That's a really important thing to have here, but I think Mako can pull this away. Let's find out. These Stormcallers are level 2 now. They should be able to deal with these tanks just a little bit easier. Here comes the initial bombardments. Once again, it should just clear away all of these crawlers. Yep. Only 2 crawlers make it through there. The little Fang are able to pick away at these crawlers early. Unfortunately, the sniper is still unsupported on the flank. This guy on the right is able to survive. Looks like Mako did play his Wasp Swarm in the very back line. Not quite good enough. And now the snipers have to pick off the rest of these Phoenix. There's a lot of Phoenix left over, but they should be supported here by the Fang. We'll see if it's enough. The tower should drop, but that Phoenix is going to claim a sniper. It's 1 sniper versus 3 groups of Phoenix. That's not great. And this tower will fall very quickly. Luckily, the Fang will absorb a ton of damage, but... oh, it's not looking good here. For Mako. Our blue player, though, he's probably quite happy. The Fang really can take a shot, though. That's why those shields are important. Great job. Good job for those little Fang. Man, my face is my shield. Well done. What a bunch of little lads. Super heavy tanks could be good. No, both player opting for the junior manufacturing. Not a bad choice. The range increase on the snipers is huge. They now have the same range as the Phoenix. That way they don't have to walk within that 40 meter. Snipers are really slow. Closing the distance with a sniper is very unlikely to happen. Bulb opts for some more tanks. Doesn't look like there's anything in the backfield of Mako. There's nothing in the backfield of Bulb either. Both players playing a gentleman's game. No need for some flanking units. And honestly, both flanks are pretty well protected for both players. I do like this arc light play here by Bulb. Mako opts to grab a few more snipers just to help deal with this mass Phoenix. Not a bad choice. And you know what? The snipers deal with the tanks and arc lights quite well. The only thing that really Mako doesn't have a great answer to are the crawlers. But, you know, 2 units of Phoenix and several units of arc lights, I think he'll be able to do it. Here comes the dance of the crawlers, most likely here from Bulb. He has unlocked it. Oh, and he's going to choose to try and run these crawlers straight in. Let's see if it will work. I would love these Fang to grab the Mechanical Rage upgrade, or the range, just so that way they can deal a little bit more damage, but we'll find out. Downgrow the initial wave of crawlers, but they are resetting all of these Stormcaller shots in a big way. Here comes the second. Oh, and it's just devastating. Bricking out all of those crawlers. And now the Fang might even be able to support this sniper. Let's see, they're shooting a lot. I think that sniper will live for once. It's not looking great here for Bulb. The snipers are still all alive, the crawlers were not enough to push through, and now the Fang are just absorbing tons and tons of damage. Man, each of these Fang units taking thousands worth of damage because of those shields. That is so important. And Bulb is going to have to find out a way to deal with this slow-moving, glacier-like army that is just crushing him into the dirt. Hopefully... I don't know. I think Stormcallers might be his best bet. The Vulcan are too expensive to come online, but at this point, the army's kind of built against it. Both players playing very small unit hands. I do like this. Often we see on the tournaments 6, 7 units come out, or unit types I should say. Instead, so far we've only seen 2 to 5 units coming out for either player. Oh, and it looks like Mako did choose the elite crawlers. Okay. This will probably catch Bulb off guard. I wouldn't be thinking about elite crawlers right now. Oh, but you know what actually deals with crawlers pseudo well? Our Mustang. Not level 5 crawlers, that's for sure. But Mustang do have their place in the Fang crawler Fang Mustang war. I consider Mustang basically just mobile infantry. Yes, they're little gun trucks, but ooh, and I like this. Really good play here by Mako. Did grab the Rhino assault. Is going to follow it in with some Mustang. I think this Rhino is doomed though. This level 2 sniper and these crawlers should be able to clean it up, but it's a good desperation play. A Hail Mary. Mustang are fast enough to get in there and deal damage. Also, Mustang deal with Fang really well, even if the Fang have shields. And these little crawlers are being sacrificed for the greater good, going straight up in the middle. That is not going to work. This Arclight is going to feast on their souls. Bulb is able to play out a whole bunch of units. Many different types of units as well. I think this is a wise decision, but I think it's just too little too late. Let's see how it goes. Sniper sniping. These crawlers are going to feast. Unfortunately for them, this Mustang does kill off a huge portion of them. I don't think those flanks are going anywhere. The flanks do crumble. Let's see the engagement in the center. Missile goes out, cleans up those crawlers at a really good point. And now there's level 3 crawlers coming in here to support. Ooh, man, the crawler breakthrough though in the center. Without the support of these arc lights, these Stormcallers are in a bad way. But the crawlers are able to make it back in time. And now it's time for the snipers to start duck hunting. Ooh, 2 snipers drop immediately. These shields are going to be crucial to holding up this flank. Okay, there's 2 snipers left on the field, 3 snipers left on the field. Can they clear away all of these Phoenix? It looks like the answer is yes so far. The Phoenix are wasting their time shooting at things like Fang, and that's why the Fang exist. Bulb isn't dead, but man, does he take some damage. And these Mustang have now been found out, unlikely to survive past this following turn. Deployment module for Mako, probably just to save one of these Mustang, I would think. Man, if these tanks all got an upgrade, they could perform well, but man, the little crawlers are actually able to survive 2-3 shots of the tanks. Man, that is unfortunate. No, they'll die in 3 shots. Or in 2 shots. Yeah, so only 2, but I don't know. You want your tanks one-shotting crawlers for sure. And here comes the Vulcan. This is the answer that Bulb has needed for a little while. Oh, they're really far out. But I think if these Vulcan were to have the incendiary bomb, this could work very well for Bulb. Granted, the crawlers will have a lot of HP, but at least it will damage them, hopefully enough for the Vulcan to finish them off. So nothing on the flank. Oh, there's a lot of crawlers on the flanks here of Bulb. Man, these guys are level 3 too. The tanks are kind of far away. Oh no, there isn't really a lot of chaff killing on the flanks. That's why it's important to have single point damage, health blockers, and then potentially some chaff killers on your flanks. Where did Mako place this deployment module? I don't know if he has played it anywhere. He doesn't really need to, and he doesn't. Okay. Here comes the mass crawlers. We'll see if they make it through. The engagement on the left and right does not look very good for the flanks, but these Vulcan aren't being pressured. And because of that, they're able to just start cleaning up very quickly. The tanks are all moving in. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like these crawlers are going to stop. Oh my god. Well, the center is going pretty well here for Bulb, but that is a lot of crawlers. And they are just going to swarm. Absolutely swarm. Go, little Vulcan, go. This guy's gotten a ton of kills at this point. The Wasps, the Phoenix are actually getting online and killing off snipers, but with the tower gone, I think this re-engagement for Mako is going to be huge. Really well played, playing all of these level 5 and, well, the level 1 crawlers are spawned out by the level 5 crawlers. Once again, the Phoenix are all turned, shooting at the wrong unit, and that's that. Well played here for Mako. Very dominant plays. I hope to see him in the advanced tournaments as he continues to grow. There are still some Phoenix in the background here, but they're not going to do anything. At this point, I'm sure both players are saying GG to each other, giving each other a little pat on the back, a sip of tea. That's right, we're in the European tournament, baby. GG. Congratulations to both players. Great plays. On to the next round, we have Falk versus Iceweasel. Not your standard weasel. It's like a Pokemon. I have Iceweasel Go, coming out with Supply Specialist and Steel Ball. Or, yeah, Supply Specialist, Steel Ball, and Crawler. Very good choice here by Iceweasel. Falk grabs the Marksman Specialist. Oh, wow. Falk has a pretty darn scary force to start with. It lacks a little bit of meat, but once that meat has been supplied, Falk will be in a really good spot. Iceweasel seems to be doing pretty well for himself. That extra $50 will allow him to unlock a lot of extra units here. And he's setting up for a pseudo headbutt? No, he might go all the way. This could work out. What you do is you place another unit of crawlers here. You fill this in with a Vulcan later. What the heck? Falk just immediately grabs the replication on his crawlers. Okay. Interesting choice. Iceweasel unlocks and plays out the Mustang. Not a bad choice. So if you place another crawler here, 2 Vulcan in the center, and then back up your steel balls with Mustang, you're in a really good position. Like, that's a really hard headbutt to deal with. And I think these crawlers are eventually going to be able to get in here and deal the damage just because they're replicating. That's really powerful. And this is giving these Phoenix enough time to actually get online. Oh my god. Man, those replicating crawlers, although they were seriously outmatched, bought so much time. Will the Phoenix ever be able to kill the steel balls? It looks like the answer is going to be yes. Here come the Mustang, but down goes the other tower. I think these Phoenix are going to be able to clear away all of these steel balls. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's not often that you lose a headbutt, and that's got to hurt old Iceweasel. Man, I would think that somebody named Iceweasel would go for a headbutt too. You can never trust a weasel. Well, this will be difficult to beat. I do love the intensive training. Yes, Iceweasel does as well. As soon as it comes out, granted, it's not the best card in the world, and I understand that, but I do like it, just because then I can set a level 3 unit on the field if I choose to. And that's powerful in its own right. All of a sudden, a level 3 Vulcan right here, that becomes quite dangerous. Iceweasel does drop a quick missile. Interesting. What does Falk do to counter this? Falk unlocks arc lights. There we go. Pop a couple of arc lights right here. They'll get rid of this crawler infestation that's currently going on, and another unit of crawlers. More Mustang here for Iceweasel. A good choice to deal with crawlers as well. Okay. Falk does play out 2 units of crawlers and a unit of arc light. Worthwhile. All of these units are important. Oh, and I like these crawlers in the back line. Good eyes, Falk. Really good eyes. When your opponent leaves an opening for you, it's often best to take it. I would advise, if you do see a good opening and you are currently in the position where you're winning, sometimes I like to leave that opening there. That way, once I already have 1 or 2 giant units out, or I just have a lot of units in general, all of a sudden I can put something in the back line, take the tower, swing it in my favor in a big way, and because of that, then be able to win the entirety of the game. Wow, interestingly, these Phoenix don't support the crawlers in the back line. It's gonna, oh well, these crawlers are gonna claim the tower first. That's gotta stink. And in they come. In they come. Will this arc light die? I don't think so. I think the Phoenix are gonna be able to support the arc light in time, help it survive. They need this arc light to live. That way it can take out the rest of these Mustang. Oh no. Arc light drops. In come the crawlers. Man, that arc light had a ton of weight on its back. Unfortunately, it does crack under the pressure. And this is going to be a win here for Falk. Iceweasel, or sorry, for Iceweasel. Iceweasel's units do push down the field and win this. Forgive my miscasting every once in a while. Okay. Falk takes a bit of damage. Falk's units, although they were very well placed, they just took a little bit too long to get down there. If those crawlers had some type of speed upgrade, they do quite well. Iceweasel skips immediately. Falk, yeah, Falk might opt for the subsidized crawlers. These crawlers are all going to level at relatively the same time. There's the Vulcan for Falk. Okay. It will clear away a lot of these units, that's for sure. And it will allow these crawlers to get online and try and take out the steel balls. If these Mustang get splash damage, or heck, even just increased damage, they will do very well at taking care of the crawlers. Falk is going to opt to feed his crawlers into this arc light. That is not going to work out for him. But that's the choices he's made. Iceweasel still sitting on another $100. Deployed 2 arc lights. Very worthwhile. And gave them a range increase. I would like to start to see Iceweasel maybe go for some of these enhancements. He is a supply specialist, so unlocking these are where are they? They're there. Unlocking these are a little bit easier for Iceweasel, and that's one of the powers of the supply specialist. Instead, opts to get a level 2 unit of Mustang. Definitely worthwhile, as those Mustang will just cut through crawlers even quicker. So now we run into the issue of what shut down this. Oh, nothing shut it down. It just chose to join this team. Okay. Now we run into the issue of, can the Vulcan kill steel balls quick enough? And it looks like the answer is going to be yes. This one steel ball could do a lot of work. Nope, gets cleaned up. Vulcan's going to do extremely well here, killing off the rest of these Mustang. It might die. It just might. It does die. That's unfortunate, but this is going to go in the way of Falk. Iceweasel takes a little bit of damage. Both players just cutting each other a little bit, testing the water, see what's going to work. I hope that Falk gets rid of those crawlers, though. If he keeps feeding, they will just level up that arc light quickly. And all of a sudden, arc light, a level 3 arc light with marksman, the elite marksman, does actually turn into a bit of a problem. Falk grabs the armor. That's a great choice here. Just continue to buff that Vulcan up. Make him a nice strong boy. Nothing wrong with that. I'd like to see these Phoenix get a couple of upgrades as well. Wow. Iceweasel chooses to grab a couple of Stormcallers. Not a bad choice. Storm and the decreased cost for Mustang. Okay. So Mustang in the backline would do quite well here. But hopefully Iceweasel realizes that and chooses not to play them. Just give it a couple of minutes. Mechanical Rage upgrade for these crawlers. These boys are going to be moving pretty darn quick. Lots of missiles for Iceweasel. He does have that extra $50, but I'm wondering if that's the best way to be playing them. Wow, this side is just so heavily armored. I wonder if old Falk should actually just focus on the other. Out comes another unit of Phoenix. Great choice there. Will win him that flank just because there's nothing else there that shoots up. Oh, and the unfortunate strike there of the missile does not go after the Phoenix. Down goes the tower. This should buy enough time for the Vulcan to deal the damage it needs to do to kill all the steel balls. And once those steel balls are down, the Vulcan doesn't have too much of a threat. These Stormcallers would eventually be able to kill it. And it looks like these next couple of launches will bring it down. Potentially. A lot of these are missing. They get an arc light for the troubles. Ooh, but I think the Vulcan will live. Vulcan lives. Thump, thump. If the Vulcan lives, then that's a lot of damage. Oh, it was so close to dying. That's unfortunate for Iceweasel. Good amount of damage coming out here for Falk. Really good amount. I like these Phoenix in the backline. It's not something that a lot of players do, but I personally love to put a unit of Phoenix in the backline, especially if I can jump my Phoenix. That's where, hey, guess what? Bam, Phoenix on this side, Phoenix on this side. Off they go. We do see the Mustang grab the aerial specialization here for Iceweasel. Some Phoenix getting some levels for Falk. Not a bad choice. Falk really needs to recycle these units, though. Once they're played out, unless you're going to support them, recycle them. This Arclight did earn a level for its for continually killing these units of crawlers. Level 2 Arclight won't do much better than a level 1 Arclight in this instance, but it's nice just to continue to get those levels, and unfortunately, these Mustang will continue to level against those Phoenix if this game continues forward. Man, I do like this though. The brand new missile interceptor. We can't actually select it. Huh. I think Falk is going to need more than one though. Given that there are 4 units of Stormcallers here, I would think that this little guy is going to overheat and become inefficient very quickly. But even if it blocks 5 missiles, may be worth it. We'll find out here. Vulcan is getting a ton of kills. It's already up to 166. That is just great. And luckily those distraction crawlers earn their keep. This flank is going to fall very quickly. The Vulcan is doing well on the right still. Man, MVP Vulcan up to 175 kills. But I think after losing this left, oh, this missile is going to do a lot of work. Actually, if the missile goes off, yeah, it claims all of the Mustang. Okay, Falk can't lose. There's nothing else that shoots up. This one little Phoenix is going to earn its keep. Down goes the Vulcan, though, and with the Vulcan falling, I'm sure one of these Stormcallers will get a pretty significant level out of it. Who earned it? This guy. Good for him. He'll claim a tower as well, but it's only $100 coming out on Iceweasel. Iceweasel has played this very well. He started off aggressive, now playing kind of the longer game. And unfortunately for Falk, the missile interceptor gets destroyed. It does act as a unit. It's on the field. The enemy can kill it. You know, I've never seen if it gets destroyed by a sentry missile. I would assume so, though. If it's in the blast radius or if the sentry missile activates on the missile interceptor. That'd be something worth testing. I have never had that come up. Man, I've played like 30 hours of the new patch. This is what I was looking for these Vulcan to get. This incendiary bomb is extremely good. Once these Mustang have range, they most likely won't be affected by the incendiary bomb. But until that time, they will just run in, melt, and die. Lots of snipers and a Vulcan. Ooh, I do like this mass upgrading. Iceweasel's putting a lot of pressure here on the right, but yet still somehow finding a way to win the left. Now this is a choice that I've become much more, I like quite a bit more. Having the electromagnetic shot on your Arclight is great. I prefer to have it on my Stormcallers. Don't get me wrong, the Stormcallers have slightly better splash, they have longer range. You know, I would optimally prefer to have it on my Stormcallers, but the electromagnetic blast does a lot to make Arclights more viable. It makes them viable against tanks, it makes them somewhat viable against steel balls, just because it slows them down. This is not a bad upgrade. You pair it with the 200% extra damage, all of a sudden your Arclights can get off a ton of shots, and that really can make the difference. I do like this orbital bombardment here on the left for Iceweasel. Iceweasel, although playing heavy on the right, understands that if he can continue to crush this left-hand flank, he's going to keep getting these wins. Missiles go out. It is enough to delay the Stormcallers for a moment. Ooh. all the fire roasts and toasts both players' units. That's not great. The Mustang do all run into it, though, and that will clear them off. I do like these Phoenix. Counter Phoenix here by Iceweasel look good. They're able to start picking off units and get in on this Vulcan. On both Vulcans, really. That should do it. Iceweasel's going to come back on this one, and he's going to hit very hard. Not only that, these Stormcallers are going to continue to level for killing all of those Vulcan. Ouch. Falk takes significant damage here. Iceweasel really able to level the game, level the playing field. Great plays. I think that Phoenix jump was really well done here. Both players opt for the mobilized battleship. I think it's worthwhile. It's weird that it's called a battleship here, where it's called an overlord everywhere else. And I affectionately call them motherships, so hey, the giant boat in the sky. These Mustang have earned themselves a level. So have all three units of the 4 Stormcallers. Definitely worthwhile. Both players trying to figure out where they want their motherships. I think Falk is wise to place his mothership in the background. That way it's supported by the Phoenix. Both players have a ton of cash. They're thinking about it for a little while. I don't know if Falk has used his intensive training, but an intensive training on this mothership would be great. Turn it into a level 2 mothership. Instead opts for the photon emission. Definitely going to affect all of these units considerably longer, but I still think the fire will cook off basically everything here. That's the great thing about the Vulcan, that if they grab the incendiary bomb, any small unit around them dies. Unfortunately, that also includes Falk's crawlers, so you don't really want them to be too close. Ooh, and Iceweasel does upgrade the Overlord. Level 2 Overlord is going to take a lot of damage. There's a few single point entities, or entities that deal with single entities very well, in the form of the Phoenix and these marksmen, but I don't think there'll be enough to deal with this Overlord. I think the Overlord's going to be able to get in here and do a heck of a lot of damage. I do like the parasitic ammo on the Vulcan, but any units that spawn out of the Vulcan are affected by the incendiary bomb. So all of the crawlers that just spawn from this Vulcan are just sitting in that fire, and they will all die. Down go all the units on the left. In come the rest of these units for Iceweasel. He should be able to claim the tower without much of an issue. Oh yeah, instantly claiming it. That's not great. And this level 2 Overlord is a really good answer to other giant units. Overlords hit really hard. 9,000 damage, that's per missile. They hit like absolute trucks. Iceweasel wins both of this. What a comeback. Congratulations. Man, I really liked that. Both players did play an extremely good game. Give all your love to them. Remember, this is the intermediate group, and we will see you in the next game. We have Hupi versus Klopp. If you enjoy clapping, let me know in the comments section below. You know who you are. We have a Rhino Specialist with Fang Sledgehammer coming out against, what will Hupi pick here? Heavy armor spec. Okay. Not a bad choice by either player. I do think that these Stormcallers will do well in the early game, as per usual. Stormcallers, having 1 or 2 of them on the field is just always good. Even if they get shut down due to something like the missile interceptor, it does just mean that it's $100 or potentially $200 spent by the opponent. It's not a bad choice. Klopp is set up a very interesting way. They might be going for something like a slap. Not sure how well that will work for them. I think Hupi... Oh man, I have this little character on my desk. Oh, I forget his name. Jeez, I have a little... My wife got me a little one of these guys for Christmas. It's meant to be like a little Christmas ornament, but the little hanger fell off, so now I just keep him on my desk. I forget what his name is, but that was a show that I watched when I was a kid. It definitely wasn't for kids, but I watched it. It looks like Klopp is going for what I affectionately call a slap, which is just playing all of your units as far forward as you think is possible in the early game. I would not advise doing so, just because you're spreading your firepower out across a ton of different units. Not only that, these units don't really have great support for each other, nor can you play any units in front of them. So what you see is what you get. And if they ever get countered, you have to rely on the next wave and the next wave. Doesn't really work very well. Stormcaller shots aren't really doing very well here, and they're getting overwhelmed. Instead choosing to shoot at the one target that's moving and somehow missing every single shot. That's gotta hurt. Poor Hupi was probably thinking that he was going to steamroll this, but it seems that these Stormcallers are a little bit on the sauce. Good old drunk Stormcallers. They will clean up one tank. Will they, 4 of them, be able to kill one not moving tank? The answer is no. The loss of that tower is extremely bad. Oh, that one Fang. He saved them. Can the Stormcallers pull this back? It's likely that they will. That's a pretty good launch. Down go the majority of the units. One more launch like that and these Stormcallers will propel Hupi into the next round with a victory on his belt. Wow, 2 more. Jeez. Stormcaller accuracy, everybody. We're not sure if it's good or bad. It just is. It's almost always a coin flip, whether your Stormcallers hit or not. Ooh, I do like this nano repair kit coming out for Klopp. And it looks like he's going to possibly put them on a unit of steel balls. I would hold this nano repair kit till my Rhino comes out, just because the Rhino will benefit from it more. More Stormcallers here for Hupi, plus the shield or the defense enhancement. This won't matter too much, as the majority of Hupi's units are extremely flimsy. In fact, I don't think it matters whatsoever. These tanks still hit for 608, crawlers still only have 344 HP. And they have the most HP, well no, I guess these Stormcallers have a little bit more HP per one, but I don't think that's going to work out here. Klopp still sitting on $300. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. Those steel balls would do all right, at least being HP soaks, but really, I think arc lights or, okay, aggressive Fang could work. With the aggressive Fang, they should be able to dodge under more of these Stormcaller shots. Unfortunately, being in that line does mean that the majority of the unit gets destroyed, as we saw with those Stormcaller shots. That is gonna hurt. And now there's 4 Stormcallers to shoot at 2 units of tanks. Oh no. These tanks aren't gonna stand a chance. Well, that's that. That's why I prefer to have my dodging Fang. If they're going up against Stormcallers, don't put them in the line. That line will get you killed. Or at least kill the back units. If those guys were all in that flat pattern, it would have landed behind them. They should have been safe. But because some of those, if you did notice, these guys here moved forward, but their back line still got killed. Speed Specialist would be very important for Klopp. He does not take it. Oh, he really needed that Speed Specialist. That Speed Specialist is insanely important. Not only would these little guys be able to get under, they'd be moving fast enough to counter a lot of other units. That was a very bad thing to happen here for Klopp. Not only that, it would have affected this Rhino. Having the Rhino move a lot quicker is very important as well. Being, what, it would have been speed 19. It'd be able to get in here and kill these towers very quickly, even if it was played out on these flanks. It is going to go out on the flank. Oh, it's just outside of minimum range. Just outside of it, so it will take hits from all 4 of those Stormcallers. If it was just an inch closer, it would have been inside the minimum range. That's unfortunate. I don't think it will die. Wait, where's the nano repair kit? Oh, it's on these steel balls. Interesting choice. We'll see if that pays off, but I think Hupi still has a very good chance at winning here. I do like that Hupi anticipated the steel ball, or the Rhino, and opted to grab a few steel balls. Unfortunately, they aren't protecting the flank. Let's see if this Rhino lives. It might. I don't think it will do much, though, as it's going to be swarmed and crushed. Ah, that's a good swipe. And these little Fang give it some support. That pulls these Fang away, and they're able to deal with those crawlers and keep moving forward. Wow, that Rhino lived. Let's see if it's enough. There's still a bunch of steel balls on the field, though. The Rhino's level 2. It should one-shot these steel balls. So that's quite nice. Unfortunately, the steel balls with the nano repair kit didn't seem to do anything. This Rhino could die at a very unfortunate time, just because those crawlers are going to take the tower. Yep, and that does it. Actually, both falling at basically the same time. Okay, Hupi now knows about this Rhino. That was really Klopp's power spike, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. I think if that Rhino had been healing the whole time, it would have been in a better position. Oh wow, level 3 steel balls for Hupi here. Those steel balls are going the wrong way, though. A lot of crawlers as well. What does Klopp opt to pick? It looks like another unit of steel balls and a level 2 unit of Fang. Oh man, these steel balls aren't outside of the minimum range, but these Fang are. In fact, I would put the Fang right in front of them. That way they wouldn't all die. Does Hupi protect against this Rhino more? If he doesn't, this Rhino is no longer spawning in, so it should actually get in here and deal a lot of damage. I'd love to see this Rhino actually grab the Whirlwind. Yep, there it is. Whirlwind would clear away these units extremely quickly and allow them to go claim the tower. Not only that, it works very well against steel balls, who normally have to get a little bit too close to the Rhino without that upgrade. This missile activates on the steel balls, but the steel balls have a shield. That's quite nice. It looks like this Rhino is going to get caught. That's why you need the Whirlwind on your Rhino. Without it, they just go down. Steel balls are able to punch through on the right, but losing the center in such a huge way, I don't think Klopp will have anything to deal with this. Even a couple of crawlers coming in here. Looks like they survived the missiles that were played out. That's unfortunate. The towers will drop, and now Klopp has to deal with both a Rhino that's really not holding up its weight and giving out a lot of XP, and some failed flank attempts. This is going to be difficult. Can Klopp bring it back? Recently, we've seen a trend of players being absolutely dominated, having some good plays up their sleeves, and then, unfortunately, not being able to pull through. Let's see if Klopp is the exception to the rule. Grabs the Ion Blast. He does have to deal with these crawlers, and unfortunately, those missiles weren't enough to get rid of them. Mass upgrades coming out here for Hupi. Not a bad choice. Man, this Rhino just needs the Whirlwind. I hate that these two things look very similar. Okay, he opts to get rid of the Rhino. Not a bad choice. At least now Klopp has a bit of extra cash. He can play out a level 2 unit if he chooses to. It's going to be another level 2 Steel Ball. Steel Ball Fang. Is there anything that's going to defend the flanks? Can Klopp... Does Klopp realize it? He does. He plays out some missiles, and those are better placed missiles. They should be able to clear away these Fang without much of an issue. Okay. I still don't think that Klopp has enough units that can get in and deal with these Stormcallers. Just because there's just too many roadblocks in his way. Having a Rhino with the Whirly-Durly push right up the center, it would be able to clear away all of these units and most likely claim the tower in time. That would have been useful. Hupi does grab an Arclight. I think this is a very wise decision. Just so that I like to always back up my Stormcallers with one or two things that can clear away chaff from them. This Arclight's going to do a very good job of doing that. Ooh, Stormcallers are getting flanked quite heavily. Man, and this Ion is going off really well. It looks like there was another unit of crawlers. That other unit's going to claim the tower, but Klopp has made an extremely good push right down the right. He's going to have to turn around to deal with this, but the flank was good. Down goes the other tower. Klopp is making the comeback that we were just discussing with a couple of clever plays. I like that Klopp didn't just put one unit on the flank and say, okay, I'm done. He committed to the flank. And committing to that flank is very important. These little Fang are going to do moderately well against those crawlers. Unfortunately, losing the tower at a really bad time. That steel ball engagement is crucial. Oh no, and all of these steel balls will drop. I think there's enough Fang here, though, to plink away at these guys and finish them up. Well done. A little comeback for Klopp. At least he can say, hey, I lost. If I lose the game, I at least bloodied my opponent's nose. Not a bad choice. That Ion really made a difference. Does Hupi just opt for the nuke? The nuke or parasitic ammo would be very strong for either player. Klopp decides to go with the Assault Fang. Makes sense, he has a ton of Fang, but he must be worried about the nuke. That is something that I'd be very worried about if I was Klopp. Will he play out a couple of shields? If one good nuclear detonation lands, he's going to be in a tough spot. I don't think Hupi chose the nuke, and honestly, not a bad decision. Looking at the battlefield now, I don't think the nuke would land unless Hupi played it in his own front or back line. Man, and these Assault Fang. How do you deal with such reckless hate? The answer is a Vulcan. A Vulcan right here would deal with this extremely well. Or even just a couple more Arclights with range. Just so that they can deal with this. Ooh, the shield is okay. These Fang are actually hitting quite hard now, though. 223 or 31 damage a shot. And Fang shoot quick. Fang shoot very quick, and there's often a lot of them. It looks like Mass Arclight is the answer that Hupi is going to try and deal with this amount of Fang and Steel Ball aggression. And I do like these level 2 Fang here to protect the flanks. Because Fang are the unit that he's really playing with right now, having them out is quite good because they'll be able to flow back into the battlefield at a later point in time. Man, these level 3 Stormcallers with the parasitic ammo will get a lot of work done, both dealing damage and delaying units. That's one of the greatest things about Stormcallers with the parasitic ammo, is that it often just allows your Stormcallers to get 1 or 2 extra launches off as these units all pause to kill. Let's take a look and see if the Stormcaller shots land. Yes, they do, and it just delays this entire back line for a second. Wow, that is powerful. This flank is good, though. Those Arclights were not strong enough. The Arclights really need range to deal with those such aggressive Fang. And down goes the tower. This is looking good for Klopp. He's re-engaging with a whole bunch of 2 fresh new units of Fang, racing down the field as quickly as possible. Down go the Stormcallers. This is looking really good here for Klopp. Go, little Fang, go. Shoot away. Man, really well played. I love to see a good comeback, and what a Cinderella story. Look at these boys, just shooting away. Pow, 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 pow. And this Arclight, although it does have the block, it's just not quite enough. It looks like 1 or 2 units of crawlers did survive the missile. Next turn, I fully expect there to be another unit of Fang right over here just to deal with these little crawlers. Look at them poke away. It's going to take a minute. Go, little guys, go. Man, look at how fast they race. Now imagine if there was a speed specialist on top of this. These Fang would be on top of it. Now, the issue with playing a mass Fang build is that you don't deal a lot of damage. And that's just the way of it. Deployment spec for both players. Although the Fang do really, really well as you continue to grab more and more of them, as you continue to grab more unlocks on them, unfortunately, they don't do a lot of damage. Only 100 damage per group of Fang. And you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of them die. So you almost never get a full 100 damage out of them. It might look like you have a huge swarm, but that swarm is not really worth a lot. This Vulcan with the range is going to be incredibly important. I think Hupi should play another one as well, just because these Fang are very, very aggressive. I do like the range on the steel balls as well. It's not something that you see very often. And, you know, there really isn't too much of a target for these steel balls. Now that these Vulcan are out, there certainly is. But previously, not really too important. Unfortunately, this Vulcan is going after the steel balls, and these steel balls will have a ton of HP for the Vulcan to cook out. There needs to be some single point damage here for Hupi as well, and that's really the great thing about having this. Ooh, these crawlers are not going to get in. You know, Klopp could actually save himself a bit of cash by not playing out so many missiles. I think he's trying just to stay in the game though, and I understand it, but these Fang are more than enough to deal with the crawlers. Level 2 Fang with a couple of upgrades will easily decimate a blank unit of level 1. Without the tower drop, though, these Vulcan have done an exceedingly good job cleaning away those units. Oh, the tower will drop. Oh, man. Having the range on these steel balls is very important, and this is going to be unfortunate because the Vulcan's death is going to be worth a lot of XP to the steel balls. It looks like they've already earned themselves a level, though. Down goes the next tower. This Vulcan is unlikely to get any kills at this point. It might kill off 1 or 2 Fang, but that's about it. And another good hit here by Klopp brings Hupi back into the danger zone. I like to think of the danger zone anywhere from about 1500 HP and lower. Just that's really when, if you lose any round, especially as the game gets a little bit later, you're very likely to die. Man, all of these steel balls need an upgrade, but Klopp is just choosing to play out more and more Fang. I think if the Fang got some levels, they'd perform very well. Unfortunately, these Fang in the background are not going to be able to cut it. We see Mass Sniper come out here for Hupi. A lot of snipers to deal with these steel balls. Very important. Steel balls are level 3 with a nano repair kit, though. Oof. These snipers have a lot of work to do. The electromagnetic shot would be very important, or range. Both would be useful. We do see some level 2 steel balls here to tank damage. They'll take the roasty toasty from the Vulcan initially, but that's exactly why they're there. And even more Fang coming in as a follow-up. You know what? These Fang are very well placed because the Wasps would be the thing that comes down there. Hupi can upgrade another unit, For $50, or for, well, yeah, he only has 50 left. Probably want to play that out. Let's see if Klopp can claim fame and continue forward in this tournament. I think he's got a pretty good setup. The snipers might make a difference. They even have the shooting squad. Interesting choice here, as those Fang will be unupgraded. But they'll buy the snipers just a little bit of time. Down go all the Fang to the Vulcan. Yeah, it doesn't look great. Hupi is able to clean that up. The Vulcan are firing away, but the snipers are firing away, but they got caught up for a second there. They're back on task, though. They're shooting at the steel balls. The steel balls are level 3, though, with range. They're going to get on the tower really quickly. Oh, and it goes down. I don't think there's enough here. I really don't think there's enough here. Oh, no, these poor Vulcan. This one little sniper is doing his best, though. He's back online. Out comes the Vulcan. Vulcan shooting at the steel balls, though. If the Vulcan had been shooting to the left, it would have made a significantly more difference. Oh, well. It's still not death for Hupi. Hupi has at least one more round to try and bring this all together. He's got the pieces. He just needs to make them fit together. Klopp, great job in bringing this back. Really, really great job. Assault Vulcan? Probably worthwhile. Klopp opts for the orbital javelin. He just needs to get rid of some of these Vulcan. Hupi goes with tanks. I don't know if tanks are really going to help you that much. That is unfortunate. And in fact, the orbital javelin here from Klopp is going to claim at least... Well, it won't kill anything, actually. The orbital javelin only does, what, 70,000? And these steel balls have... Oh, no. These steel balls are mega dead. I thought it was 180. No, they only have 18,000. So I'll at least kill some steel balls. The Vulcan finally get the incendiary bomb. I was hoping that he would grab this possibly on the Stormcallers. The reason I like to get that is because the little Fangs still die to fire very quickly. A lot of snipers with a little bit more in the back line. You know, it may be worth playing a sacrificial unit towards the front to kind of group everything up, so that way the Stormcallers can take and deal a little bit more damage. But in this case, the answer is no. Klopp still pays out the $100 a turn in order to really secure his flanks. I'm not sure he needs to be doing that. Man, and more steel balls and Fang show up on the flanks. Let's see if the Vulcan can clear this out. Out comes the fire. Javelin kills the steel balls, nearly kills the Vulcan. The fire is good. Oh no. But the flank rush is even better. And that's that. The Ion Blast cuts across the top. Look at this beautiful collapse. Fang steel ball. Fang steel ball. Out they go. And they're going to do an extremely good job here. Look at that poor Vulcan get melted down. Even the Fang dodging in and out of the fire. Can the Vulcan deploy one more time? I don't think so. That is unfortunate. And this game goes to the Klopp. Congratulations. Hupi did his best. Hupi had it. It was his game to win. But Klopp really came back from the edge of defeat and edge of despair to win out the game. We'll see you in the next rounds.